Greetings everyone, and welcome to today's tonal demonstration of the Singleton Uniting Church pipe organ. Now normally we would be doing this in front of the actual organ, but when we recorded it on the day, we started questioning a couple of things about the organ. Now the information that we normally would do research from is usually from the Organ Historical Trust of Australia's website, and through this book here from Graham Rushworth, The Historical Organs of New South Wales. It is a very resourceful information, and Graham created this utilising many different organ builders to help him fact check some of the stuff. Now, when we started questioning about the organ, it was all over a particular stop on the swell division. And John Hannah went home after that day and actually found some information about the organ. Now, from the website and from the book, both of them believed that the organ was actually built in around the 1880s. Further information found out that it's not actually. So, today, the organ at Singleton Uniting Church is a 1904 Charles Richardson organ. It was built for the family of Sutton, who were living in a private residence down on the south coast of Wollongong. Now, they sold their house to the Church of England and was opened as a hostel for girls on the 21st of January 1921. Now, the organ was sold then to Singleton Uniting Church, and back then Uniting Church was known as the Presbyterian. It arrived on the 13th of March 1920 and was installed by Charles Richardson himself, and it was officially opened on Anzac Day, the 25th of April 1920. Now, the church itself is a lot older, and they were looking for something for that building as a war memorial. Hence the reason why its official opening date was on the 25th of April. So to give you a bit of history about the Uniting Church at Singleton, let's take a couple of years backwards. So, Singleton Uniting Church, which is also known as either St Andrew's Uniting Church or, formerly when it was first formed, St Andrew's Presbyterian Church. The church was first established in 1837 and was the first ministry in the area. So this was before the Catholics and the Anglican churches showed up in the area. The original building, which was in the opposite site of where we filmed the actual demonstration, was originally constructed in 1838 and then was later enlarged in 1878 to 79. Now, the present building that's there at Singleton is located on the opposite site to the original, and it was designed by Sydney architects Nicol and Adam in a Gothic style. Now, the construction of this building cost about £5,000. The foundation stone was laid in 1904, and the official building was opened on the 31st of May 1906. Now, St Andrew's is actually an unfinished build in some retrospects, as originally there was plans to be a tall tower and spiral, which was supposed to be the entrance to the church, but due to funding, it was never ever built. Now, as we mentioned earlier, the pipe organ is of 1904 Charles Richardson, a 3-manual pipe organ. It was sold to St Andrew's Presbyterian Church for the cost of £550. Richardson removed it from the private residence at Wollongong, as we mentioned earlier in our document, and installed it at St Andrew's Presbyterian. Now, the church purchased the organ as a war memorial, and through the photos that you're about to see, there are many names on this organ of all the people who served during World War I. First public performance was on Anzac Day of 1920 and was played by the church organist Mr. A.D. Hume. Now, there has been some observations made about the organ while it's been at Singleton Uniting, and some of these are that the choir stop of clarinet has the pipework has stamped on it a vox swell, and with confirmation from Ian, they are a vox humana. Now, we're not sure if it originally had a hitch down swell, but currently the swell actually has a balance swell shoe to operate it. The choir division is also enclosed with the swell, and we'll explain that through the tonal demonstration later on. And so the bellows have also apparently have had some work done to them too, where apparently they were originally double raised bellows. One has been removed and has been turned into a single raised. Now, we noticed this when I did the first tonal demonstration, that as soon as you put it at full organ, coupled with swell stops and all that stuff, it loses its air and it starts sounding out of tune. So we have been able to get some good recordings from it to show how this organ works well on minimal stops. The other thing too is the casework, that it's been widened while it was installed at Singleton Uniting. Half of it is so that name plaques could be shown on the actual organ for the war memorial. Others also believe too it was to fulfill the space. But even as a small case of the organ that we all know of a style of Charles Richardson's, it would have still looked perfectly in place in the actual archway of the chancel. In saying all this, this instrument is we believe is one of the finest instruments of Charles Richardson's organs that he has crafted. It features a lovely wide range of colourful stops, making it perfectly suitable as a home organ of its time. Yet it's still powerful enough, even with the changes to the bellows, to fill the space of Singleton Uniting. So in saying all this, let's now turn to the organ demonstration. We'll go through all the stops here on this 3-manual pipe organ. So let's start off with the bottom manual of the choir. And we'll start off with the softest stop here of the Dulciana. The next stop on the choir is a solistio. Third and final stop is that Vox Humana, which has that mislabeled clarinet stop. Now we're going to put the tremolo on for this one. It could be used as a lovely solo stop too, coupled with some of the softer stops on the swell. Now, all the stops on the choir division are enclosed in the swell box with all the swell stops. So you can have the two string stops, the Dulciana and the Celeste, along with the Vox Humana. Moving on to the Great, which is our middle manual, we have 4 stops, 2 principals and 2 flutes. Now this whole organ with all its stops here has been voiced very well. We have an even amount of stops of principals, reeds, strings and flutes on this organ, which is really suitable for what it was originally designed for as a home organ. So we have the open diapason on the Great. And I'll put the pedal along with it. Couple that with the principal 4-foot. Now they are very bold sound because they're right in front of me here. My ears just went bang as soon as they came on. I was like, very good sound. So now we have the whole flute, our 8-foot stop. Couple that with a 4-foot flute. And that's the Great Division. 4 stops. Perfectly loud enough to help with congregational singing. Now, over here on the swell, we have all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stops here that are all 8-foot with 1 4-foot stop. Now, all the 8-foot stops here, excluding the oboe, are all tenor C. So they have an additional stop here called the stopped diapason bass that runs from tenor C down, which is more suitable in the pedal area to hear it from. Alright, so let's start off with the open diapason and the swell. Now to couple that with the 4-foot gem horn to give you the principal chorus and the swell. Now, our flute stop here on the swell is a Legate gedakt. Now we have two string stops, a gamba and a vox celeste. Start off with the gamba stop. Now couple that with the vox celeste. Now, this organ does have an octave coupler for the swell, and it only is a swell to great octave. So to make these strings sound beautiful in the next octave up, here they are sounding through the great keyboard. Now I just pulled out the Celeste and the Dulciana while the box was enclosed to show you all four string stops together. Our lucky last stop here on the swell division is our oboe. It is a rather bold sounding oboe on this organ. Is that oboe can be utilised as a beautiful solo stop here, utilising the whole flute as the backing. And that's all the stops on the manual. The last stops we have is the the pedal division. We have an 8-foot bass flute, and we have our 16-foot board organ. So you've heard now all the colourful stops of the organ. Now normally I would do a build-up of the organ, and this is where I actually noticed about the wind problem. So it's not in its best vantage for us to show you what happens to it, but please watch all the other clips that's about to be uploaded on our YouTube channel of us playing beautiful different pieces of music, showing off the organ with minimal stops. We hope you enjoyed this clip. thank you for watching us. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, or please jump over to our Facebook group where we actually have interactive conversations with all our members, and also encouraging people to come along and record with us throughout Sydney and our trips up to the Hunter Valley. Also, please check in on our Facebook page of Sydney Organs. We actually throw up short clips there, and also sometimes links to some of our featured videos that we put up on our YouTube channel. So I do hope you enjoy, and we hope to see you soon.